Max will definitely become world champion this year. Easier said than done goes the saying. According to Sebastian Blakemolin, it looks like it is said and done already. Welcome to F1 Freaks. Today, we will discuss Verstappen's charge to retain his title and Sebastian Blakemolin's comments on it. Despite coming in behind Leclerc in the Austrian Grand Prix, Red Bull's Verstappen is still very much in charge with 6 wins. The reigning world champion built up a 46-point lead over his teammate Sergio Perez, with Leclerc falling 49 off the place. Verstappen has only the Ferrari team to worry about. Or maybe not, with the Ferrari's camp performance getting dampened by reliability issues. Reliability has already played a major role in the title race so far. Early season bugbears for Red Bull allowed Ferrari to take early control of both tables, but since it is the Scuderia which has been suffering with engine difficulties, allowing Verstappen and Red Bull to open gaps. Red Bull has won 6 races in a row and has a 76-point lead over Ferrari in the race for the Constructors' title. In the drivers' standings, Verstappen leads teammate Sergio Perez by 46 points, while Leclerc is 3 points further adrift. It certainly hasn't been a year of reliability at Ferrari, and it's been evenly spread across both cars. Leclerc had to salvage a win at the Austrian Grand Prix after suffering from a technical problem when he had issues with his accelerator. Carlos Sainz was unable to finish the Austrian Grand Prix when his Ferrari was knocked out of action with 15 laps to go, with an engine fire that was as impressive as it was dangerous. While Sainz saw his chances of another podium finish and a strong World Championship finish crushed. He couldn't get out of his car as the crash took place on a hill, nor could the steward arrive to put a block on the wheel, and nor could the driver be seen in the midst of all the flames. A Ferrari engineer has admitted Max Verstappen will need to suffer some more reliability problems this season if Charles Leclerc is to get back into title contention. Not wishing bad luck on Max, or not wishing to sort of win it by virtue of DNFs and that sort of thing, but reliability will play a part in this championship later on in the year as well for everyone, he told the F1 Nation podcast. So there's more dice to roll. I know what you're thinking. Are they that desperate? Well, yes is the answer. They are that desperate. Reliability remains the enemy after breakdowns in Barcelona, Baku, and again in Austria. According to Binotto, the problem in Spielberg is very similar to the one in Baku. In Maranello, they are working hard to find a solution. We have a very good performing engine. That gives me hope for the future when we have found a way to make it reliable as well, Binotto told Corriere della Sera. There are still 2 races to go before the 4-week summer break. Ferrari are keen to close the gap and head to the Belgian Grand Prix with a good feeling. But it remains to be seen whether reliability issues can be resolved quickly. They are in a race against time. And also Red Bull. These are problems that worry us for coming races, not in the long term. I am convinced that we can solve it as a team. For this kind of intervention, you need time. You need to design, produce, and homologate new components for reliability. A few weeks are not enough. In the short term, we will try to manage it in terms of kilometers, said the Ferrari team boss. Apart from reliability issues battling Ferrari, their insistence that they have no number 1 driver is affecting Leclerc's chances of closing the gaps. Carlos Sainz taking the win at the British Grand Prix that some at Ferrari are said to have felt should have been Leclerc's. In Austria, the following race saw some Ferrari controversy when Sainz contested his teammate's position for second in the sprint qualifying race. Due to Verstappen's ability to build up enough distance between himself and Leclerc in the early laps, the latter was unable to close the deficit. The Austrian Grand Prix was won by Leclerc ahead of Verstappen 24 hours later. Still, Ferrari once again did themselves no favours as Sainz's engine blew out as he pursued the Red Bull driver for the potential Ferrari 1-2. With all these brewing, it is now clear why Blakemolin reckons that at this rate, the title is very much Verstappen's. If Ferrari continues to do the same as they do, and Red Bull the same, it would be difficult for them to close the gap quickly, the Dutch racing driver told motorsport.com. Every now and then, they will come to a point closer, but Verstappen will also get a point every now and then. So I think Verstappen is in really good shape. You don't know how it will go. 11 races is still a lot. But even if Ferrari gets a little better and Red Bull just keeps doing what they do, they may creep closer. But Verstappen will definitely become world champion this year. Verstappen is doing everything right in that regard. He is strong in all races. He makes almost no driver mistakes. The Red Bull is quite reliable and the pace is there. It cannot be missed that Max scores points every race. Every time, a podium is the minimum achievable for him. As such, Blake Molen believes not only will the Red Bull driver win the title, he'll do so well before this season's finale in Abu Dhabi. And that's a shame after last year's final lap of the season showdown. That's a shame in some way, he said. Of course you secretly hope for that, but 38 points is really a big difference. Ferrari can only make big strides if Leclerc continues to win and Max finishes 3rd, 4th or 5th or drops out once. Well, that can happen one day. But that also applies to Ferrari, of course. Blake Molen's view here is that Verstappen is pretty much having a smooth sail on the road to winning another world title. Coupled with the fact that Hamilton is having a bad season, with the Mercedes star trailing behind his younger teammate George Russell, with Andrew Chauvelin admitting that Lewis Hamilton has had some bad luck in the early stages of the 2022 Formula 1 season. This has so far been a season to forget for Lewis Hamilton. We were behind in the beginning, so we had to learn. You can't learn if you don't experiment with parts on the car. Lewis had some bad luck in the beginning with how parts worked out. You don't know in advance what works well and what doesn't. On the track, you try to get that right. On the track, you try to understand that, says Chauvelin in conversation with Sky Sports. Hamilton currently sits at the 6th position, managing 4 podiums. This is Hamilton's worst start in 12 years. It is safe to say Mercedes is not a threat to Red Bull's title charge this season. With Hamilton out of the way and a fluctuating Ferrari team, Verstappen is more than a favourite to retain his world champion title. Red Bull has also been leaving no stone unturned when it comes to upgrades with their car, enjoying massive upgrades ahead of Silverstone and some minor tweaks ahead of the Austrian Grand Prix. We are sure there'll be more to come ahead of the French Grand Prix. It seems like Red Bull has its purpose well figured out and is on course to becoming this year's winning team. What's stopping them, you might ask? Well, the answer is them. Yes, you heard that right. The only team that can stop Red Bull is Red Bull itself. If they keep their performance up and suffer no reliability issues, like Blake Molen stated, Max will definitely become world champion this year. This brings us to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and click on the bell icon for notifications on more content like this.